All right, I'm here, my man Goldie Dobie from Northwest DC, man. So you see how how easy it is to get into trouble and how hard it is to get out. I'm gonna bring my man in, and Goldie, tell him who you are and what you locked up for, and how much time you doing, family.
And my name Goldie Dobie. I'm from Uptown. You know, 1-4. That area, Mount Pleasant. I've been down now for 22 years and counting for a shooting that I didn't commit. So, but now due to the IRA, these new laws, we getting a chance to come and show that man that we wasn't and are not things we were back then. No Slim. So that's pretty much.
Okay, what year you went in?
I came in 2001, January 7th, 2001.
And how much time you doing total?
I got a 30-year sentence. I
Okay.
come in under the new law. I wasn't under the old law, so I got a 30-year sentence. You know what I mean?
Okay, and you got 24 in on that, you said?
Yeah, 22 and count.
Okay. I had the pleasure of running across you in the system over in Lee County, Virginia, and you was a big part in helping me change my life, and I'm doing what I can to help you get back out here by bringing awareness to who you are. And just want to let you know, man, thank you for everything, man. Tell them what it was like when we met back then and how Lee County was, how rock and roll and everything. Just how it moved.
I mean, Slim, that's how we become to be family. You know what I mean? Like, due to the politics, the men fuck with the men, right? All over. You can't stop that. But at the same time, man, like far sitting together and, sleeping together, and that you don't really have that. Like, until I came to FCI, you was the only guy that, man, from anywhere else that ever came in the cell with me. Or we been in the cell together. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know.
And what I mean, like that situation that, at the time back then, like with the homie. You know what I mean? That's my man. You know that. You know where I stand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's not get that. Let's not, cross that line. You know what I mean? I'm rocking. You know what I mean? Redskins. Let's go. You know what I mean? But at the same time, my man, you my partner for building. And I mean, man, respect man. That's just the way it's gonna have to go. It have to be.
All right. Tell him how that situation played out. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna use the name because we respect each other up here, and the brother ain't here to defend himself. But tell him how that situation played out from the way you seen it, because I never even asked you. You know what I mean? You was just there when I needed you.
Man, when I seen it like this, you know what I mean? That's my homie. He is, due to the way he was moving, he thought that I was gonna allow or aid and assist him with the bullshit against you. You know what I'm saying? Because if you how can I say, when you got something which you had, you know what I'm saying, and you're not aggressive, you know what I mean? Because my city, man, you know what I mean, we aggressive by nature.
Exactly.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? That's just my city, man. I don't know about nobody else, but I mean, we aggressive by nature. And a lot of times, a lot of us get a bad a deal because they think that our aggressiveness, that we on bullshit when we not. That's just us. But when you get to know the individual, you will see, man, you know what I mean? You'll love them. You know what I mean? And that's for most. But back to what you said, so at the time, man, like, you not being aggressive and being humble and mild manner, he thought that you was a sucker. And that wasn't the case. You feel what I'm saying? So now he looking for me to aid and assist him in doing something to a dude that I deal with when you know the situation. And you thought that it was going to be easy. So now you got to deal with that. You understand what I'm saying? And he understood it because that's, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. He was a man. You know that. But he just thought you know what I mean? Sometimes you think that, you can do things that you can't, man. And you know what I mean? You get caught out there. You know what I mean? That's how that go. You know what I mean? But,
Okay, so let me sum it up to y'all so you understand from my point of view. Now, what happened is one of his homies, jumped out there and violated me. Because, like he said, I'm humble, I'm laid back, I'm mild-mannered, I'm respectful, and I just stay in my lane. You understand? But I deal with men. You know what I mean? And he's a good man. He had a DC cell, and he allowed me to move in the cell. Me and him, we lived together, and his homeboy tried to start with me over something, thinking that it was sweet, and found out it wasn't. When he found out he wasn't, Then now he looking towards my man Goldie, like, yo, like, yeah, let's jump him, and then a couple of other brothers came in the cell, from DC because they heard that, one of the homies was in the cell, and they, like you said, they're aggressive, they rock and roll like that. So if one go, they all go. So when they heard that, one of them was in the cell with somebody, they shot in the cell. Once they saw it was me, they just looked at Goldie and asked Dobie, yo, what's up? It's good? And he said, yeah, just, men handling their differences. You know what I mean? They turned around, they peeled out, and dude looked like, damn, where y'all going? Like, he wanted them to roll with him with the bull crap, like they were supposed to jump me in the cell. You know what I mean? But it was like, nah, you gonna get a one-on-one. That's unique. You know what I mean? And, that's the way that played out. But, Goldie held the door, because that's what happened. That's why I want you youngins to understand. We in the cell fighting, a little 4x8 cell, and we get ready to fight. My man holding the door to make sure that, from a federal prison. That nobody come in or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? But that's how serious it is. So if that's what y'all trying to do, keep doing what you're doing. But, Goldie on the phone to let you know it's easy to get into trouble. He been down 24 years on a 30-year sentence. And, I'm helping him get some paperwork together, with the foundation that I work with to try and get him out. And I'm going to send a letter. And, y'all can send letters of support. You can just contact me at my DM and I'll get his information. And, all the letters count because, like I said, it was giving out crazy sentences, man. But, Goldie, tell them what you've been doing since you've been in there. Matter of fact, before you go there, give them one of the war stories from out there. Something that DC got into it with another car without saying no names real quick. Tell them how simple and stupid these arguments are that erupt in the ninth place.
It's simple and stupid like this, man. Now, you know what I mean? Like, we just had a homie, man. I wasn't there, but one of our homies with two of them, you know what I mean, with this situation that just happened down Polar. You know what I mean? Two good men. You feel what I'm saying? Like, one of them, man, one of my big homies, you know what I mean? Like, salute all my big homies. You know what I mean? The ones before me and the ones that's going to come after me. You know what I mean? But one of the big homies from up my area, my part of town, you know what I mean? And, man, he was at the end of it. You know what I mean? And he had to change in him, too. You know what I mean? But at the same time, some things happen. I don't know exactly what happened, but look, at the end of it now, all his co-defendants home. You feel what I'm saying? And they was waiting on Slim to come home. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like right now, Slim, man, I mean, me here, and until I get there, and that's what I explained to him, you know what I mean? Like, you got to be on this time. I ain't on no bullshit, but this the time I got to be on, man, until I get there. This part, man, once you get into it, right, it's easy. You feel what I'm saying? The part that's going to be, you know what I mean, is out there during the time is easy. But getting back out there, that's the hard part. You understand what I'm saying? That's the part, man. And you know that, man. You see how long it took you to get back to the streets, man?
26 years.
You feel what I'm saying? And I know back then you wasn't no monster or none of that shit. And that's for most of us. We just a part of our upbringing, man, the things that go on out there. Am I wrong right now? If something get the part, I got to do these things. See, that's the thing. You got to make this is natural. I ain't looking for no rewards or none of this to be real, man. I mean, that's either you or it ain't. But at a time, man, real can, man, stop you from going to the street. So you got to think. But you don't even want to be put in that situation or that predicament. So the best thing, man, all I can give is for the kids, man, is, man, when them people tell you what they tell you, man, and do the right thing, man, if it ain't harming you, man, it got to be right, man. And listen, man. The majority of the people that's coming out there now, man, that's doing this time, man, they telling you from their experience and the things that they went through. I mean, like, what you hate a person you don't know for. What I want to hate, I don't care where you from, what color you is. You be from Mars. You ain't did nothing to me, so why I don't like you?
That's deep. Okay, so how old was you when you went in?
And I was 19.
And how old are you now?
18 and 19. I'm 41. I just turned 41 January 25th, man.
Went in at 18, he 41 years old. So if you youngins think it's that sweet and that easy to get out of trouble and, you gonna get a lawyer and this and that, when them people grab you, man, it's hard to get out of trouble, man. It's hard to get out of trouble. I mean, How many times, a week do the deuces go off in there when y'all are up without being locked down?
This call is from a federal prison. It's a little different now. You know what I mean? They still jump, but man, I'm fortunate enough to I done made it to an FCI slip. You know what I mean? So I'm down here in South Carolina now. So they ain't really jumping how they was. They still jumping everywhere though. They just ain't jumping right here. You know what I mean? I'm gonna call this the retirement home. You know what I mean? The people that want to go home. You know what I mean? I'm with that group. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm mature and to have the wisdom, and to know right from wrong. You know the saying, man, Slim, when they say, man, if you know better, you'll do better. A lot of people think that's a slick saying. Or a lot of the sayings from back then are something that somebody, slick was trying to say. That's not the case. They giving you the truth. I know better now. So if you ain't trying to harm me, then, man, we ain't really, we ain't really gonna have no problems. Because I stay out the way, you know what I mean? You gonna stay out my way, and I'm gonna give you all the respect because you gonna give it back to me. And man, that's just that, Slim.
Okay, let me ask you this before we go off. What is a typical day like for you in there now? How do they run it, during the pandemic and all that? With the lockdown and the split yard, if they have it there or whatever. What's a typical day? What would you tell me? Yo, it's messed up in here now because. What's the because?
It's the messed up because the way it is, point blank. Back then it was messed up, but now it's just totally different. Due to the pandemic, everything is used on a pandemic. Like, for instance, I just had a little incident when I went to the shoot, but they expunged it, right? Man, these people. I'm gonna tell you this: the mat can fit through the hole, through the tray slab, man. This the mat that we sleep on now, you.
Man, get out of here.
You understand what I'm telling you? You can come through the food slab, man.
That mean that's thin.
Man, you sleeping on concrete, you. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? I'm down south now, so it's more better down here than up north. We ain't gonna sugarcoat. You know how that go. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, man, you know what I mean? Like I ain't really, man. I know how to deal with this, man. I come from that part of it. You know what I mean? I mean the people. You know what I mean? It's, like I say, this ain't it. You know what I mean? The loved ones, the family. When they heard, I heard. Other than that, man, I'm cool, man. You know what I mean? It's sad to say, but in a way, this jump made me, far as that part, immune to that part of it. You feel what I'm saying? But then at the same time, it turned me into a man and made me who I am today, Slim. You feel what I'm saying? Like I thought I was a man. I was a young boy. I grew up a man in a penitentiary in these FCIs. And like I can say, you've been a part of helping mold me as a man, and all the other ones around, the good men that gave me something, gave me advice. You feel what I'm saying? My homies. And when I say my homies, 9 times out of 10, I'm really talking about DC. But at the same time, them not my only homies. But man, you know how this shit goes, Slim. Man, I'm just waiting my turn, man.
Okay.
Straight up and down, man.
Let me ask you this too. When did you find out that I was released, and how did you feel when I was released?
I feel, man, like I feel that any good man come home, but especially you, because you family, Slim. You know that. So, man, my man home. Man, shit about to happen.
Yeah. See, the phone just cut off, right? But that's what I want y'all to understand, man. It's like I told you, when I was leaving, the men that was around me when I was leaving, they looked at sad and miserable. They didn't look happy for me. They didn't look the way I look when I seen other men get released. You understand what I'm saying? And it's like crazy because misery love company. But then you got good men like Goldie and myself that, we wish nothing but the best on others, But when I walked out that door, man, I seen the look in their face like, oh, man, I can't believe you going home and leaving me here. I mean, it's sad, man. That's why if the youngins don't understand, I don't know what to tell you. I'm just letting you know 100. When I went to jail, my daughter was 18 months. When I come out of jail, she's 27 going on 28. You know what I mean? So picture that, from 18 months to 28, you know? And then picture trying to learn each other in between there. So all y'all out there saying, man, I'm hustling, I'm doing this and that for my kids, for my mother, for my this, for my that. When they grab you, then who gonna do for them? Who gonna do for them then? You know, I mean, come on, man. You know, none of this is worth it, man. I'm just telling y'all 100 what it is so you fully understand. Don't get involved in that, man. Do not get involved in that. You know what I mean? Because the ones I thought was my friends when it was time to go home, they looked like they had tears of sorrow, you know, and not sorrowful joy, but I mean sorrow like, man, you ain't supposed to be going. I'm supposed to be going. And that's the first time I experienced that. That's the first time I was released after 26 years, you know. And like my brother Goldie said, it's easy to get in trouble. It's so hard to get out, you know. That's why you need, you know, to surround yourself with a good support team in anything you do, whether you're on the inside or the outside. Because the very ones next to you, you know, when you get that new raise or that bonus or a new car, a new apartment, a new home, or new chain, or a new girl or whatever, you know what I mean? The one right next to you is the one that's wishing it was him. So pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to your surroundings. Because all the ones that flipped on me, when I look back at the still shots of the pictures we took back then, I saw the hate and envy in their eyes. You know, but at the time I was moving too fast to pay attention. That's why I'm telling y'all to slow down and pay attention to your surroundings so you don't get caught up, because it ain't worth it. At all, it ain't worth it. So don't say I didn't tell you. You know, ain't nothing easy about doing time. My man went in at 18 years old, man. He going to be 41. I got another homie, Fingers. Remember, sign his petition at freejimmyfingers.com. I'm going to say it again, freejimmyfingers.com. All right? Sign that petition for my brother. He got, what is it, like 6 life sentences in 300 years. You know what I mean? How you give a man 6 life sentences in 300 years and expect him to do it or stay sane? But Fingers found a way, because he's a man and he accepted his responsibility. He ain't tell on nobody. He ain't think about telling nobody. I even asked him right here on my platform, if you had a chance to tell on somebody to get out of there today, would you do it? And his answer was emphatically no. Most definitely no. You know, because that's the cloth we came up under. You know, it is what it is, man. So, you know, I'm just tuned in to let y'all know that real quick, man, and let y'all hear my man Goldie, Doby, and, you know, put your prayers in the air for him, because you already know how this thing moves, man. We all in this together, and, you know, it is what it is, you know. So let me just put the little outro on and tap out and let y'all know, you know. So make sure you sign up for my membership. Sign up for the membership on the page, subscribe to the page, like the page, and the Cash App on the screen. All right? Unique Mecca Audio, Unique Mecca Hall. All right? I don't care if it's $1, $5, man. You know what it is. You know, the game is to be sold, not told. Y'all get a lot of game and a lot of jewels. I just let you talk to a man with 30 years, man. With 30 years. If that don't deserve a Cash App, I don't know what do. You know what I mean? When would you be able to, or get the chance to talk to a man that's doing 30 years that been down 24 years? Well, that's the type of stuff that I bring you on my platform. All right?
Hi guys, welcome to Platinum Cuisines. We're located in Freeport on the Nautical Mile. Just wanted to introduce my partner, Amy.
Hi guys, how are you? And this is my sister-in-law, Diana, another partner. I just ask that you come support our minority-owned business. We serve Asian fusion, Caribbean cuisine, and we have a beautiful restaurant located on the Nautical Mile in Freeport, New York. And we're asking that you come check us out, and also make sure to tune in to Mecca Audio TV.
Mecca what? Mecca Audio. Aight.
No.
Cheers, cheers. Toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
What?
Ayo. Aight. Ayo. Aight. Mecca what? Mecca Audio. Mecca what? Mecca Audio. Mecca what? Mecca Audio. Mecca what? Mecca Audio.
Fresh
out the can of 26.
Yeah.
He back on the strip, getting back in the mix.
Yeah.
What he mentions a gift.
Right.
You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this.
Real.
Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit.
Yeah.
Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn.
Real.
Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, Mecca audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spin a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be whoring uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, we got a lot to give. Now he trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community ours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the rudiments.